Well, when it comes to verbal attacks, it can be thrown at them while they are interviewing someone or when they are covering in the scenes of the news coverage. And basically, lots of physical attacks come in the forms of torture, even confinement, or even kidnapping. And there are also gender-based sexual harassment and assaults, especially for the women journalists. And there has been quite a lot of terror and intimidation thrown at journalists on the scenes as well. And more and more happening is that journalists are being forced by the authorities, or even sometimes the angry members of the public or supporter of certain politicians or certain celebrities to delete their interview recordings, their photos and their videos. And sometimes the journalists are being forced to have their devices being confiscated and destroyed, such as their mobile phones, their computers, or even their cameras as well. And sometimes journalists are also being kicked out of the scenes or being denied entry to cover the scenes. And there is the verbal and the physical side of the attacks that journalists have been increasingly receive more and more nowadays.
And, you know, there had been efforts back in, 1999 or so to bring in laws to protect journalism and to ensure a robust media environment. But is that upheld?
The 1999 law was on the press, so it covers journalism and journalists, but not necessarily the media itself as a whole, although media is also part of it. But I think when it comes to the implementation of the law itself, a lot of time, people who felt that they were being defamed or being wronged by the journalists or by a media, they tend to bypass this law. So this law, the press law, is actually have already had a mechanism that is specific for the journalists and for media on how to mediate issues with public. But there are other laws that were being used by public, especially by politicians, that were not supposed to be used for press and journalists, which are the Information and Electronic Transaction Law and the Criminal Code, which have provisions on defamation and hate speech, which regularly being used to target journalists and media.
Do you think there's an issue? I mean, we know there's an issue with corruption. It runs fairly deep through all levels of Indonesian society. Is there an issue in terms of using the law to try and stop that corruption being exposed, to sort of really report on these issues?
Oh, yeah, it is quite prevalent that especially people who are being named in a news coverage that is related to corruption cases, they use this particular law, the defamation law, to actually target the journalists that wrote the articles. In the last 5 years, for instance, there are 3 journalists that were being sentenced for a jail time, one of which actually, because the journalist reported and named someone that is related to the mayor of a certain city that is related to this corruption case, and this journalist is now serving in jail time.
Yeah. Indonesia's parliament has also been proposing revisions to the Broadcast Act. What are those changes and what do they hope to do?
This new draft bill actually involve certain limitations that would ban investigative journalism to be broadcasted in any platforms. So that will definitely suppress the freedom and the independence of the media and journalists. And I think one of the things that is problematic about this is that journalism and media are supposed to be under the authority of the Press Council. But this draft bill give authority to the Indonesian Broadcasting Commission to have the authority over the investigative journalism, which means that there will be overlaps on which has the authority over these investigative journalism results or coverage. So at the end, this draft bill, first of all, this draft bill is actually being discussed and being processed without public knowledge. It's being hidden from public, and when it was leaked to the public, then public kind of like express their condemnation, and then the bill is being stopped at the moment. But eventually, they will try to suppress press by another attempt in creating a revision to the bill. So at this moment, this bill is actually being used to limit the role of check balances that was being played by media and journalists.
Yeah, and I'm interested, Anita. You talk about when it got by the public, people were opposed to this revision. But do people care about press freedom in Indonesia?
Perhaps not so much, because I think I think it happens globally. How people are now tend to look and to listen to more influencers and commentators on social media instead of to journalists and media and their reportings. But I think there is also a portion of the society that are actually really concerned about this, and they voice out their concerns. And these are the groups that are actually trying to lobby the parliaments to not go further with this bill.
Yeah, really good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.